Okay, welcome to our weekly learning Tanya. We are in Perek 26, Baruch Shem Shem Havaya, the Perek Esrim V'Sheish, Shem Hashem, the Gematria of the 26th, and we are holding in the Chita's 22nd of Shvat, in Lessons in Tanya, page 350. We're going to talk about, once again, discussing perfect timing, as always, Zman Simchateinu and the importance of Simcha. We have the holy Chag of Sukkot, and we're already now by Hoshana Rabbah, Simchas Torah, Parshat Bereshit, Shabbos Bereshit. There's a lot to internalize, and the Tanya is going to help us how important it is to keep the right mindset, and especially after the Chag, to not fall into sadness, because atzvus mimela d'shmaya. As for sadness connected to heavenly matters, one must seek ways and means of freeing oneself from it. So after you're such a chag, and you have to go back into your business matters, back into your daily grind, I've already got a long list of things that need to be done as the week begins, and that would include my soulmate as well, all the things she needs to do, and the children, Baruch Hashem, thank you Hashem, are going back to school. Baruch Yitzchak ben Masha, who was in Lebanon for his third mission, he left on Yom Tov. We had the merit to say goodbye. Baruch Hashem is already returning home, hopefully tonight. It was a very short mission, and I think it was interrupted because of the attacks on Iran that needed to be done on this past Shabbos Bereshit night. Very special Hatzlacha that they had over there in Iran. A lot of success with the mission, and slowly removing all the enemies of the world, of humanity, and thank God, this is good times in that sense, good news, and we have to thank Hashem also for the chizuk we got over Sukkot, Hoshana Rabbah, with the beautiful seamless tefillahs I mentioned. I did a post, I'll put it in the link below, the Instagram, of just thanking the community here, and also the beautiful opportunity to daven together and do the Hashanas the right way, with achdus, with unity and song and simcha and tefillahs for Hashem saving us. And then Simchas Torah, my son was zocher to an aliyah in the night. It's the only aliyah of the whole year that we do in the Sefer Torah at night time. And my son was zocher to Cohen, and another good friend of mine was zocher to Levi, and then another good friend of mine's son, who's also in Lebanon, was zocher to Shlishi. So it was very nice, big chizuk in the koach of Torah to help us be matzliach in this mochama, and through tefillah as well, and all the ma'aseh chesed that go on throughout the year. This is what I spoke about in the Musaf of Shabbos Bereshit, when I spoke Shirat David in front of the community here, the idea of being mechazik in the base ratios, beginning again and again, and that's what we're doing here with Tanya. We're seeking out eitzes, how to begin again and again. Shmi Bas, to listen to the Basker. We mentioned a Meister of Matzio, the singer, and he should be well. We mentioned that he came by to Rasimai Zilberberg, Shlita, should be well, and the Kedushas Levi's Yahrzeit, Chesaleinu. We mentioned him also, Sasha. He had a similar voda to the Nekudas Tovus, and the voda, the effort in tefillah, and the effort of davening, and the spitz point of Shabbos Bereshit in this time of year of Tishrei, the end of Tishrei, where we're holding today on Yom Rishon of Parshat Noah. We're now holding in this Rav de Ravin time, and we're in the Tevas Noah, protecting us with all this awe. And Shemi Bas, we're hearing this Bas call that's coming out to awaken us to tshuva, both from Har Chorev and both through the Beis Hamikdash by Shlishi that we're davening for. Behesed Kadasha should come in this Chodesh Cheshvan, Be'ezrat Hashem, the Akeres Habayis, Akrav should be turned into Akeres Habayis. The Scorpion, the Mazel, this whole energy should be turned into a time of rebuilding and hatzlacha and internalization. Rosh Hashanah is Bereish, Shabbos Bereshit. Parshas Noah is Yom HaKodesh, Yom Kippur, the purification, and then we have next week Lech Lecha. It's a big week in the world. Hopefully Trump will win, Be'ez Hashem. We just saw him on Joe Rogan's awesome episode. There's so much to internalize right now with Baruch Hashem. With Daf Yomi we had Moed Nema, and then it said Shabbos Bereshit Lo Nema. So it's a big awe that we're trying to internalize, both in the Daf Yomi and being most of Yosef, adding on to our learning. Hopefully we'll do many learnings, many chavrusas, much learning this new year, and to internalize the big awe that we did during Tishrei, and this please God, this year of Muhammad's to victory and to Yeshua's and Nechamas, to comfort all those people who are going through loss. Should be Zochim Mitzvim to learn in the schus of all the Tzaddikim, and we know that Levi Yitzchak was very close to the Balatanya, and the avodah of Simcha was definitely a big part of everything they did. So, as Hashem in the schus of the Tzaddikim, let's go ahead. Ein sarach lomer b'shas avodah. That this applies to the time of one's divine service is self-evident. Sarach lavod Hashem b'simcha v'tu levav. For myself, Hashem with joy and gladness of heart. Weiter in the Tanya, Ella afila mishu hu ba'al asakim v'derech eretz. But even the one who's occupied in business and worldly affairs, which is a transition. We went from Zman Simchateinu, these bigger levels of avodas Hashem, and now we're bringing it into the week through Tevas Noah, through the Tevas of Torah, the Osis of the Torah, the Ark that's surrounding and protecting us, so we can go into being a Ba'asik, being someone busy in this world, but derech eretz. And should there, God forbid, descend any sadness or anxiety about heavenly matters during his business affairs, so this is certainly trick of the evil inclination, but sadness him, and the whole point is then bring you into Taivas Chas Shalom Kanoda. So, like for example, I'm trying to always book people. I want to grow the Unity bookings, and it's not such an easy space because generally the music world is not an easy space. I grew up with it, and in the secular mainstream world, and I see it now here. It's a challenging space, a lot of protection, a lot of interesting personalities, and so a lot of protection. A certain way it's done that needs sorting out. As I was speaking to certain people who've been in the business for a long time in the Jewish world as well. And you can get a bit down sometimes by the lack of seemingly, not because I'm Baruch Hashem, if someone gives me an opportunity, I'm very much thorough and professional, get everything done. But the personal aspect is not always easy to go through and to navigate. And we need Sata D'Shmaya to meet the right people and to make the bookings more consistent. And that would be a big scaling of what I'm doing. And hopefully other people can benefit as well, including all the artists, the speakers, the creators. We had the blessing on Sukkot to have Yishai Fleischer speak here. I'd love to book him more. We have an agreement that we're going to do bookings together, and then met a new artist for me personally, Shmuel. Official Shmuel has already done some great events around the world, including Madison Square Gardens and obviously Eretz Yisrael, many events, and would love to do some work with him as a growing new artist and producer as well, which is I didn't know that. So that's pretty amazing. He was around Simchas Torah. Maybe we'll have him as the cover photo together with myself for this first class. But the Simchas Chag, that was the key. He was putting energy, and that's going to be the challenge, to bring that into the daily grind of the music business, the bookings of the marketing I'm trying to do for companies, and Zera Shimshon, the Torah, ZeraShimshon.com, trying to develop that site of all the audios. There's a lot of work to be done, and sometimes the miniot, the preventations, can make a person down. So it says in the lessons in Tanya, if a man's nature seek pleasure, not to remain depressed. So you don't want to be in a state of not success. So then when we're not successful, we seek out other ways to escape, like this whole Netflix binging experience. We have to find a truer, purer way of connecting to Hashem and facing our stuff. His fitting spiritual failure distresses him. He'll seek his pleasure in physical gratification. The evil inclination therefore wishes that one be depressed, be it over spiritual trials or later succumb to temptation. So one of the things is, when you're in the business world, you experience a lot of tests, nisyonis, like Sinayim, and certain things you see out there online. I was just listening to Shlomo Katz on Facebook Live, and then if accidentally I scrolled up because I was trying to write something like Chazak Nematz or Levi Yitzchak ben Sasha on the video, and it went to some sort of Baywatch clip, with the opposite of what we're trying to do, of bringing Mashiach is escapism. Im lo kain ma'in bo'la atzvus amitis. For if it were not so, this expression is doing of the Yetzer Hara, machmetz ahavas Hashem or yiras or be'emsa asakav. When a genuine sound, one that is derived from love or fear of God, comes to him in the midst of his business affairs. So the point is, since the Genesis has a special love or fear of God, it should express over time when these emotions are active during prayer, Torah and study in the night, but not during one's business. So it's all about organizing yourself, prioritization. We talk about from Stephen Covey, everything having its time, first things first. The idea that the sadness is artificial, created by the Yetzer Hara for its own purposes, and he must therefore get rid of it. So we have to be clever that the Yetzer Hara is playing tricks. He's always bringing the emotions at the wrong time and trying to arouse thoughts that we shouldn't have at the wrong time. Like you're in the holiest moment, and comes these negative thoughts. You're in the holiest time of year, and comes all this sadness, depression, lack of energy. And it's so too with the other way around in business. Like all this, suddenly these emotions for spirituality come. You want to connect more, be more spiritual. And this is the time now for the grind of business, not the time to be, you've got to make deals, you've got to make things happen, not be busy with feeling a lack of learning or a lack of this, a lack of that. So the whether depression settles upon him during a service of God in Torah study or prayer, or when he is not engaged with us with his material affairs, and this is what he should consider. This is the Yahrzeit. Listen to this. Now is not the proper time for genuine sadness. It's not the time. Feel the daiga of anos chamurim, even worrying about big sins. It's not the time now to do tshuva. People have a firm Yitzchak that makes them want to do tshuva all the time in the wrong times, and that's actually taking away from their avodas Hashem and ability to succeed in business, to support their family, and to do mitzvahs. So we have to realize there's a time for everything. Like we had in Kehelis over Yom Tov, there's a time for war, Shalom, there's a time for peace, time for every single avoda has its moment, its time, and that's also in how we think, how we speak, how we process emotions. Everything has its time. We have to really be very disciplined in an internal sense. There's a lot of self-awareness and a lot of inner work. This importance of speaking it out with people who are knowledgeable in these areas, the workings of the soul, workings of the heart, to work through and to make sure we time everything when it's appropriate. And that takes a lot of discipline and development and personal development. Something that the Balatana is giving you Eitzah, telling you very strongly, giving you clarity that this is not the time for this, not the time to go think about past sins. Sometimes when I do my classes for Bnei Akiva, I go through some of my past stories, but for that, it's always, once again, to you read a Sarah Chali. I'm trying to show them how I went through a certain time period of lack of relationship, or the opposite of what a mitzvah, and to bring them to the point where they realize that the better way to be is through the mitzvah. So to take people through a journey, but it's in its time. I'm not doing it all day. I'm not talking about my past. That's about tshuva. Only specific times, Erev Chag, Erev Rosh Chodesh, Erev Shabbos. He's going to see there's this fixed times to this, so certain times. And as Rabbi Nachman says, once you've done the Cheshbon Nefesh, now the rest of the day be b'simcha. For this was one set time, says the Balatanya, opportune times when the mind is calm to reflect on the greatness of God against whom he has sinned. Now let's end off this beautiful parak. So thereby his heart will truly be rent with genuine bitterness. The bitterness, remorse, as opposed to depression. The form is alive and active. So there's a big chiluk between bitterness and depression, between meriris and atzvus. We see this concept of meriris and the hamtaka, the sweetening, but these are all healthy parts of Yiddishkeit. And we'll talk about this later in the Gerasa Tshuva later on. Shamnis Bar, I already learned that Baruch Hashem in the Chitas. Shamnis Bar Gam Kain Ki Miyad Achron Ishbao Liba B'item Kavuim Hahem. Therefore, it's also explained that immediately after his heart has been broken during those appointed times, he should Az Yasir Eitzav Melibo Legamre. He should remove completely the sorrow from his heart. So that's the Derech Chassidus. There's no room for sorrow. There's no room for sadness. We have to remove that completely from ourselves, and that's an important cloud. That Atzvus is the Eitzah from the Eitzah. It's the advice from the evil inclination. We have to really run from it, and therefore bitterness is only there to serve us. There's a famous non-Jewish guy, Tom Billy, used to say you have to use everything you have, how to be more effective in life. I think it goes back to Stephen Covey, but the concept of being highly effective in your life, it comes to you knowing yourself better and using all the different voices and tools of Yiddishkeit, especially Havda with Yiddishkeit, with Torah mitzvahs, of eitzahs, to apply them in the right time, in the right way, and that takes a lot of self-awareness. Something that took me time to learn somewhat. I'm still in the process, but it's something we have to really work on. Shamnis Bargam came Yad Acha Nishba Liba Ba'itim Kavuim Ahem There is also explained that immediately after his heart has been broken during his appointed times, he should completely remove the sorrow from his heart. V'yamin amuna shlema ki Hashem ha'avich ha'toisoi rav l'sloach. And he should believe with perfect faith, amuna shlema, that Hashem has erased his sin. We have to know, faith is not a good word for translation for amuna. It's a knowledge, it's a knowing, it's a deep, intrinsic clarity that God has erased his sin. Hashem is erasing these sins, and that he pardons abundantly. This concept of forgiveness is a big part. Forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, is a big part of Avodas Hashem, letting go. Zehia simcha mitzis b'Hashem habo acha eitzav kana. And this knowledge that God has cleansed him of sin is true joy, in which follows the sadness. But remember, this is the me'iris, not the atzvus. Even though he says the word eitzav here, but eitzav, if it means sadness, or brokenness, depression, that doesn't lead to simcha, and you have to stay far, far away. That's the main liquid here. And I think we need to strengthen this, especially after the Chag. There, even in the Parshat Bereshit ends off a certain Eitzev in the world of sadness by Hashem even Yisbarach. It's one of the only times you see Hashem Yisbarach was sad. He sees the state of the world. And I would say before Mashiach comes, the certain state of the world, the chaos that's going on, similar to the times of the Mabul of Parshat Noah. So we therefore need to strengthen ourselves at this time and keep in that protected world of Torah and Tefillah and Simcha, and shine forth like from the Tzoah Minateva, that shine outwards and to attract other people to the Teva of Tefillah and of davening and learning, to shine that light outwards and to bring more people into their own Teva, into their own self-awareness of what tools work for them, to bring them to more state of Simcha, a state of Gadlus, a state of true tshuva, where tshuva shlema, where they have a munah shlema, that the process works. It's a healthy process. It's with das. It's with understanding, self-knowledge, and this is the kind of avodah that we need to do, especially after the whole chodesh of Tishrei, Elul and Tishrei, and the chodoshim of tshuva and simcha and tefillah, and we have to take the light of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, and bring it into a keli, into the base of the Bereshis, bring it into the keli of the Tevas of Noah, bring it all this light into a vessel, that it translates into our home, translates into our hearts, translates into our families, into our friends, into our business, to everything we're doing, to bring more light, more simcha, more clarity. And clarity and simcha are very connected, clarifying everything in our life, learning together more and more, get more clarity, more musagim, more joy. And with that, please God, we'll be zoch to a successful winter, a healthy winter. There's a lot to internalize, everything that's gone on. We should be able to, for me personally, the whole booking idea is to empower people of talent, of speech and music, to bring more unity, more achdus. And everyone is welcome to check out Unity Bookings. I will be in London for an extended trip now from the 19th of November till December the 1st, which is like the empire of Chodesh Cheshvan. So, Kli Ba'alein in October, this already, the Shabbos is Chodesh Cheshvan, Erev Shabbos and Shabbos. Ba'alein in October, we have a new opportunity, a new energy to bring into the world a new light and bring it to our success wherever we go. If anyone wants to reach out, connect, learn, either in Eretz Yisrael, online, or when I'm in London, you can reach out, and the information, the link to do so will be below. And I'm looking forward to sharing many lessons of Tanya, so clarity, lots of simcha, and do everything in its appropriate time in the right way, that we come to a full geula shlema, full redemption, where all our enemies are going to be destroyed, and our hashmos, complete protection for all our families and friends, and complete nechama. And please go, which is to Yeshua's, keep learning together. And the merit of the Tzaddikim, which is to the Mogain and Matzil of Torah, and please God, and we'll see. Thank you for listening. Only blessings, and please share on.